Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome to that Chill Guy podcast. I am your host, Dylan. Hope you're all doing well today. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, we are here. We are here. We are finally on a different platform. We are branching away from TikTok. Don't get me wrong. I enjoyed my time with TikTok. We'll still upload some things that we do on this channel onto TikTok. It's not like I'm getting rid of it completely, but we are branching away from it because we are in the land of YouTube. Hey, new opportunities, more possibilities. I mean, we get to talk about horror slasher topics, movies, and TV series. I plan on covering it. Welcome to Derry TV series. I've already watched the first episode. It was great, phenomenal, crazy. Um, let's see. Also, we'll be doing like different kinds of series. I know if y'all were following me on TikTok, you would know that I did. Oh, what was the best version of Michael Myers mask versus the worst or the goofiest version of Michael Myers mask. I was gonna start a new series on there, but I didn't get to it. But we'll be doing another series called Slasher versus Slasher. If you put two to two together, we're taking the most famous slashers and put them up against each other to see who is the ultimate slasher, basically. Um, but yeah, that's cool. We're here. We're here on YouTube, ladies and gentlemen. We're just want to bring you a lot of fun content, and get that podcast feel to it. You know what I'm saying? So, ladies and gentlemen, diving into what our topic is here today, and that is breaking down the trailer of Scream 7. All right. So how we're gonna break this up is we're gonna talk about the returning stars of the Scream franchise. Then we're gonna talk about the new stars of the franchise, and then of course break down the whole trailer. Ladies and gentlemen, I am very excited to do this because the Scream franchise is literally my favorite franchise of all time. Love all the movies. Yes, you can compare each one individually and say, oh, this one is better than the other, but there has not been one bad Scream movie. It's not like the Halloween franchise, it's not like the Friday the 13th franchise. It's not like the Freddy Krueger Nightmare on Elm Street franchise. And it's not like the Chucky franchise. Because each one has a terrible reboot, at least a couple, or maybe to a few, bad movies. And we won't talk about the MTV Scream show, but that was a TV show. It failed, and it's not actually a part of the Scream franchise movies. So, like I said, let's dive into the returning stars of Scream 7. Starting off with our final girl, Sydney Prescott, coming back, focusing on her. So we're no longer focusing on Sam and Tara, the Carpenter sisters, aka Melissa Barrera and Jenny Ortega. Uh, if y'all don't know what happened with that story, go go check it out. Go see for yourself. I'm not gonna actually explain to y'all what happened because it is a sensitive subject. We'll move on from that and focus on Cindy Prescott, like Scream 7 is doing. Then of course Gail Weathers is back. Can't have the Scream franchise without Gail Weathers. She's been a part of it since the very first movie, alongside Sydney Prescott. And then, of course, half of the four core four. I wish we can actually do that meme. Bam, 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 bam. Plug in that meme right there. But half of the core four, none other than Chad and Mindy returning to the Scream franchise. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, if I actually had a spinny chair right now, I got a little pop up chair looking like I'm going to a tailgate party. Um, I would be spinning in my chair right here, right now. I am happy to see that the twins are coming back. Um, Randy's niece and nephew. Hopefully, Chad doesn't actually get brutally, almost near death, murdered in this movie because he escaped the like he cheated death twice. Now, if he was in a Final Destination movie, death would be chasing that man around a lot because in the very first one he got stabbed pretty bad in the Scream 5 movie, and then of course Scream 6 was the most brutal I've ever seen. You had two Ghostface stab you while having um, Jenny Ortega's character watch this all happen. Hopefully nothing like that happens in this movie. Come on, you gotta give the man a break, man. He's been stabbed more times than Sydney has been stabbed, or Gail Weathers has been stabbed. Even more than his own sister. This guy has been stabbed way too many times in only two movies. And then, of course, Mindy. I hope Mindy has her Velma moment and actually breaks the case and finds out who the heck Ghostface is. She needs that moment. I mean, we're already in the seventh movie, and this is her third appearance in a Scream movie. She needs the moment. You know, third time's the charm. Third time's the charm. Let's get it. And then now let's talk about the new characters. None other than Sydney Prescott's daughter is being introduced because it is focused on Sydney and her daughter, and Ghostface is coming for Sydney and her daughter. So yeah, crazy. And then of course, Sydney Prescott's daughter's friends are in this movie, and then her husband. Now let's talk about it. So apparently there's a new guy playing as her husband. It's not the guy that we saw in the third movie. You know, the guy that played Thanksgiving. You know, the pilgrim in Thanksgiving. Yeah, he's not returning. There was a whole dispute, but what can you do? What can you do? I won't mention it now. You know what? I won't mention it now. I have a theory. It might be a far-fetched theory, but hey, it's pretty funny. Anyways, so Sidney Prescott's husband has been introduced into the Scream franchise. We know who he is. We know who, like, it's her husband or a love interest. I don't know at this point, but we will find out. We will find out. So, um, so yeah, those are the new stars. So those are the returning stars. Those are the new stars. Now let's break down that trailer. Starting with a couple goes and rents out an Airbnb, and the Airbnb happens to be Stu Marker's house. So what's funny to me that Stu Marker's house is actually an attraction in real life. People can actually go there and kind of relive that scene. What's the matter, Sydney? It's like you seen a ghost, you know. Like, dude, that is cool. Like, being able to actually go to Stu Marker's house in real life. But the fact that they reenacted the real life attraction and brought it into the Scream franchise and Scream 7 as an Airbnb, it's basically just an attraction. I I do appreciate that they included the stab posters. I have talked to my friends, and we agree like, hey, can you release like YouTube shorts, or can you release like small films so we can actually watch people reenact the actual Ghostface attacks. Like I would actually want, like I would pay money to actually see a stab movie, not a scream movie, but a stab movie. And to get my hands on one of those posters, oh my god, I love those iconic posters. The green posters, amazing. So they were all over the walls within the house. And then at one point, the boyfriend turns on the light out of nowhere. Ghostface shows up, but it's just an animatronic. He does a little wave ski. He's like, oh, it's just an animatronic. Then the camera pans over to his girlfriend, and none other than the real Ghostface is lurking behind her from the darkness into the doorway. And that's when all the chaos happens. I don't remember what happened to the boyfriend. I don't like the whole sequence of events wasn't really focusing on him. It was focusing on the girlfriend. The girl had a little chase sequence up the stairs. At one point, they got reached the top of the stairs. Ghostface once again falls off of the railing, like he falls over the railing onto the ground, and boom, big impact. I'm surprised any Ghostface that has fallen from that distance actually hasn't broken anything or die on impact because of like hitting the back of the head. But Ghostface is resilient. Whoever the Ghostface killer is resilient. Then we get a scene of the girl dangling from the chandelier, trying to get back over the railing. Yeah, over the railing, getting her footing, but then she slips, and she slips from the chandelier and goes falling down, and Ghostface so happens to turn around in that moment, puts the knife facing up, and we didn't actually see the girl get stabbed, but we can only assume that the girl did get stabbed. I mean, most people are telling me it's kind of corny, but me, I think that's absolutely brilliant. Like, that's an interesting ghost fake kill. I mean, I can actually see it being corny, but to me, I couldn't help myself. Like, I love that. I love that. I mean, it was something different. It was something different. Um, I have never seen Ghostface actually kill somebody falling from like 10 feet up in the air and him going, let me hold my knife and let's let momentum do the rest. You know what I'm saying? This so I mean, yeah, it's funny, it's corny, but I love funny and corny. It's definitely a nostalgia moment. And then we cut over to Sidney Prescott's daughter walking with her friends. Don't know where they're walking to. Maybe to her house, uh, maybe to school, or we don't know. They're just walking on the sidewalk, and then we go to Sidney Prescott, and we find out that Sidney Prescott is not working as a hotline suicidal prevention worker, and she's not writing books anymore. Matter of fact, she owns a coffee shop just to have that simple life. Just to have a simple life, you know, getting older, owns a coffee shop. I don't remember the name of the coffee shop. I would have to watch the trailer again to remember, but yeah, Sidney Prescott owns a coffee shop. Ghostface calls, and this time, this is the real Ghostface. Even though she's like, um, basically saying, "Oh, is it you're just another person with the voice changer playing a prank on me?" And this sequence has happened before. This scene has happened in past um, Scream movies, but it's nice to see it again. A little throwback, uh, for nostalgia. It's awesome, but this time it's the real Ghostface, and she basically said, "Hey, how about you stop hiding and actually show yourself?" He said, "Well, that famous line, I'm not hiding this time." And he wasn't hiding this time. Matter of fact, he was hiding in the attic of Sidney Prescott's home, drops down from the attic hole, and that's when all the chaos begins. Then we see a scene of Ghostface chasing Sidney Prescott and her daughter, and but then they went into this little base area. Hey, Cindy is very, very smart woman. Like, she's a very smart woman. She's been attacked so many times. She's been a part of this franchise for a long time. I would be making a little secret base myself, a little protection base myself. Closes the door behind Ghostface. She has cameras so you can see everything that's going on. And then eventually they start walking in a walk space between like in the walls. Like, they were walking in a walk space in the walls. And when I saw that scene, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little claustrophobic at times, and that was actually one of my claustrophobic moments. But imagine you are running from Ghostface in a cross space, no, not even a cross space, a walk space. Like, you're like, the wall's right here, and you're like this, and you're shimmying across the walk space, and Ghostface hears you, and then he starts stabbing and jabbing the knife into the wall, trying to kill you. Imagine that. Picture that. Well, we could definitely picture it because it was in the trailer. Ladies and gentlemen, that was a crazy sequence of events. That would scare the living daylights out of me. I will, first of all, like I said, claustrophobic at times. Then having a serial killer trying to kill me through the walls, that is wild to me, ladies and gentlemen. Um, then we get a shot of Sydney. I mean, my bad, not Sydney. Sorry. We get a shot of Gail Weathers. Uh, and guess what? I didn't catch it before, but I did watch another video, and I was like, oh, now I see. It is the return of Chad and Mindy, but Chad and Mindy was coming out of the van with Gil Weathers. Only one can assume like why they were there with Gil Weathers. I've heard some theories like they could be doing an internship with Gail Weathers with her news report station. Um, that's a possibility, and it's a high possibility. That's what's happening there. But how I envision, if it was just like in a corny way, and I don't think that's the direction they would go, I would be like, I would say, oh, Chad and Min, like, she meets up with Chad and Minnie. Hey, Chad and Minnie, hey, there's another Ghostface attack. Come on, get in the van. We gotta go to the scene of the crime. We gotta go help out Cindy Prescott and her daughter. And they're like, heck yeah, another Ghostface fight. Let's do it. But obviously, that's not the direction they would go with. But it's a pretty corny way of, it's a pretty corny theory. But like I said, they probably wouldn't do that. It is most likely that they are intern um, doing an internship for Gail Weathers for her news report. And yeah, so that's how they are introduced back to the Scream franchise. And then there was another scene when Chad and Mindy in a little diner. I guess it's a diner because I don't know what they were doing actually. Uh, I think it's a diner. I'm not sure. Uh, we will find out. But they and then Ghostface was trying to attack them, and then we get another scene of Ghostface. Um, what one can assume brutally murdering Sydney's husband, boyfriend, whatever title he is, because he starts suffocating him with some plastic, like this big plastic tarp, clear tarp, you see at construction sites and stuff like that, starts suffocating him, and out of nowhere, BAM! One stab, blood splatter all over the plastic. So one can assume that he did get sliced and diced. I'm just saying. He did get murdered. Um, then we saw another pretty cool event. Um, Sydney was far away from her daughter. Her daughter was in the house, but she could see her every move, and see Ghostface every move. She's like, "You gotta shoot him through the wall." Her daughter did. He went down, and then she said, "You gotta shoot him in the effing head." And then when she was about to, Ghostface, classic Ghostface, obviously didn't die from the gunshot wounds because, bulletproof vest. Gotta be bulletproof vest coming out. I don't know. He definitely got up from that. I don't know what happened to the daughter after that. Um, but yeah, yeah, that's pretty much the trailer, y'all. I mean, um, oh yeah, my bad. I would say that's pretty much the trailer, but we get another famous line saying, "Hey, I'm gonna burn it all down." And sure enough, he burned down. It looked like Stu Marker's house. He burned down Stu Marker's house. Um, and then, of course, at the end, when it says the title screen saying Scream 7, we hear none other than Matthew Lillard's voice saying, "Oh, this is gonna be fun." Now, ladies and gentlemen, that was the trailer. If I had to give it a rating, I'm definitely giving it a solid 10 because that trailer looks badass. That looked too damn good. Like, that trailer looked too damn good. This is gonna be a good movie. It's unfortunate we had to wait all the way into February, but for me, as a dad, time goes by really, really, really quick. So, for others, I'm sorry that it's gonna be a long wait, but for me, I feel like time goes by fast. So February will be here before you know it. Like this October went by super quick. I didn't even get to watch a lot of the like Halloween movies, horror movies, slasher movies. Like I didn't get to watch a lot of them. Uh, it just went by too quick, too quick. But we did get a lot of stuff. You know, It Welcome to Derry TV series, Scream 7 trailer, Stranger Things trailer, which I got to do my reaction on that. Um, yeah, it'll be here before you know it. So let's talk about Stu Macher, Dewey, and Roman. So how are these three coming back? Well, I'm gonna tell you right now. So the theory is, and it's a reliable theory though. It really is. The theory is Stu, Roman, and Dewey are all actually dead. They're not coming back, even though Dewey's voice was in the trailer. Stu Macher's voice was in the or at the end of the trailer. The theory is they're actually dead, and whoever this ghost face is are using the voice changer to mimic their voices because there was a a quote from Dewey that didn't sound like something Dewey would say. So it's a very reliable theory, and it could be the possible direction that they're going. But even though I don't want that to be the direction they're going, because I absolutely want to see Stu come back and then officially get killed off. That's what I want to see. Um, Not only because I did place a bet with somebody saying Stu is actually still alive. I mean, come on, Matthew Lillard so many times said, yes, Stu's alive. Yes, I'm coming back to Scream 7. Because that's the big move they had to pull off to get people's butts in those seats to actually and to get away from the Melissa Barrera, Jenny Ortega situation, um, to bring back Nev Campbell to focus on her, and bring her back into the franchise in that way. So that's what they said. They're like, oh, we're gonna bring back Stu. We're bringing back Stu Mocker. Uh, Dewey's gonna be in the movie. Roman's gonna be in the movie. Like, I thought with Dewey there was gonna be some like flashback sequences. Maybe with Roman, I thought Sydney was just gonna have that, vision of Roman in her mind, and then Stu was actually gonna be the one to come back into the franchise alive. But like I said, a reliable theory is going to be that all three are my bad. All three are gonna be dead. They're not alive. And this person is just really smart and has a voice changer to mock or to mimic those characters' voices. Now, this ain't the only time we have seen a character have a voice changer to mimic their voice, and it's actually the best voice changer in all the Scream movies, and that is Scream 3 with Roman. And I feel like that's another way they're gonna have mentioned Roman, because I bet whoever the killer is using Roman's voice changer, was able to find Roman's voice changer and use it to mimic those voices. Because if you remember in Scream 3, um, Gail Weathers, Dewey were in the closet and they found the voice changer, and Gail's like, hey Dewey, they have our voices. And then not Gail's voice came out, but Dewey's voice came out of the voice changer. So I'm gonna say whoever the killer is has that voice changer. So that is a reliable theory. It sounds like that's the direction you're going with. And so that's a possibility. But as for Stu coming back, I really wish that was the case. But with that reliable theory, it's probably, yes, all three are probably not alive. And all three of them are not coming back. And all three of them are probably just going to be used as, oh, we're mimicking these people's voices. So yeah, that's the theory. And yeah, what else can we talk about here? Dang, lost for words. That pretty much just covers all the trailer and the theories. Um, but we have to cover the question, the $1 million question. How many Ghostface are in this movie? To me, right now, what it feels like, there is one Ghostface. That's what it feels like to me right now. One Ghostface. I mean, it would be obvious if it was two. I don't think they're going with three or four or five, Ghostface in one movie. The three was already like the three that they had in the last movie was already pushing it. just go back to basics. Either go with two ghost face or have one ghost face like Roman. So me right now, what I feel like it's one ghost face. Now, who could be the killer? I don't want them to go with just a family member getting some revenge. I can't do like we can't do this anymore. So why the first movie was successful is because you have original characters. They were best friends. Um, they were best friends. They were equally psychotic. Uh, um, Billy's motive is, well, Sydney, your mom was a pretty much a player. Yeah, your mom was a player. Uh, your mom seduced my dad, and that caused my mom to leave my dad, and to leave and never come back and abandon me. Stu's motivation, well, peer pressure. I'm far too sensitive. I really don't. I think the horror movies just got to the man, and he's like, oh man, I'm just gonna be a part of this. And then with the second movie, Billy's mom, I get it, getting revenge for your son. Then you had another guy who's like, oh, I'm just here for the money. Basically, I'm here for the money, and my college is too expensive. That dynamic was weird. And then, of course, the third one was Sydney's brother, which he was the only solo Ghostface, which was pretty cool to me. Sydney's brother. And then the fourth one was the camera nerd. And then, I mean, well, the horror movie nerd. He wasn't the camera nerd. The camera nerd did get killed off, I believe, in that movie. But it was um, the nerd, and then of course Sydney's cousin, and then we go to the fifth one, and it was Melissa Barrera's Sam's boyfriend. It was the love interest, and that other girl that was their friend for so long, but they weren't together. And then of course the sixth one was the family of Richie, which was Melissa Barrera, Sam's character's boyfriend that they killed, or she killed, and yeah. So hopefully it's not some family member. I'm getting tired of that story. Like, oh, I'm getting revenge. Watch it just be Richie's mom. Watch it be Richie's mom, dude. Like, I don't want that. Hopefully it's just somebody within the movie. Somebody within the movie were like, oh, we remember you. We remember seeing you. What's your motive? Hopefully it's somebody like that. Hopefully it's not like some oddball character, and hopefully it's not some family dynamic of revenge. Maybe it is a very smart guy or gal, smart girl, smart gal, guy, whatever, and hopefully we find out who it is. But usually we do get that big reveal, anyways. Um, but it can go that direction, or we don't find out who that character is until Scream 8, 9, or 10. Probably like if you don't find out in Scream 7 who the actual Scream or Ghostface killer is, maybe we'll find out in 8. So that's an interesting dynamic you can go with, but I know that's not what they're gonna do. They're gonna do what they do every movie, find out who the Ghostface killer is and kill them. Yeah. Because Sidney outsmarts any Ghostface killer. So yeah, no family dynamic, no oddball character. Hopefully the person, whoever is revealed, makes sense, and be like, oh, we did see you early on in the movie, and now that makes sense. Because right now, we have no idea who the killer is. But circling back to when I was like, oh, Sydney's husband is a different guy. Imagine it being that guy from Scream 3, like, oh, it's cause you reject, like, you broke up with me. You broke up with me, you broke my heart, and that guy broke up my family. So I'm here for some sweet old revenge and stab, stab, stab. Nah, obviously that's not the case. That would be interesting, but it's not the case. But I'll leave it to y'all. Let me know in the comments what y'all think. Is who the Ghostface killer could be, what direction they might be going with. Um, Comment down below if you love the Scream franchise, and comment down below what is your favorite scary movie, and if it is Scream, what is your favorite Scream movie? Me personally, I love the original Scream movie. Call me old fashioned, call me like, oh, that's literally the John Cena of the Scream franchise. Well, I love the originals. I love the basics. I mean, if you want me to choose something other than Scream, the first Scream, definitely Scream 2. And that's it. Other than that, I'll leave it to y'all. Y'all take care. Peace out. Peace!